Hi, my name is Theodore Cottingham, and I am recreating me in a system of education, a flow of wisdom, a flow of power, a flow of love. I'm recreating me to be me, who I create me as, to be me, and I choose now to do so in ways that we have never been taught that each of us can do so. For the new creation me is me being it. The designer of me is me. And you'll see this is at odds with God, not. But there's no God in the picture to take it away from me, to take away my power. Because I have removed God from me, not. Or have I become what it is? Or am I going into truth? Truth that existed before mankind even had an idea that a God existed. Before there was ever the word God in our vocabulary, before there was the concept of a deity in our mind, before divinity was something that was separated from us, who were we? You see, we didn't just land here from planet Mars, or are you changing everything you think you know about the cosmos? Are you willing to learn who you are? Are you willing to know your power? Operate in grace. Are you willing to be merciful? To you first. Will you no longer condemn you as something that God made you apart from God? That was a big sentence. That was a big question. I am asking you, please, will you no more condemn you? To think, to live a life that you think was made by God, separate from God? What God would make you separate? Did I have children to separate from me? Or have I given all that I have, all that I am, to my children? You see, we've been stymied by a bunch of rules. We've been lovers. Friends, really, we are neophytes. We are beginners. We so often think we're so advanced in our civilization, our country, on Earth, humans, put a man on the moon, space station. But within the cosmos, within the framework of I am, within the framework of real reality. Seems redundant. Real reality. True real. I suggest we are far more than we have known. And we have been fearful because we have been taught to be fearful. We've been taught to be fearful of what we don't know. Fearful of anything that we think can diminish us. I have a school. I am a school. I am teaching you to be a school. In your school. You schooling you to be the schoolmaster, not, but the teacher who is the student too, to be one mind with. No more afraid of yours. No more afraid of what you lack. No more afraid of peer pressure. No more afraid that you may lack acceptance by somebody you want to think you're cool. My school is becoming clearer and clearer to me. I began to channel words about this school 21 years ago. Guess I'm not very bright, huh? This is the school of creation. We are no longer needing a God in our lives to plan our life, to seek the will of God, to seek His will. So many of us have been taught God is a male characteristics, male figure, male this, male that. My friend, it's not so. The cosmos of love is not dominated by love, because love does not dominate. Love does not seek control. Love lets. Love gives. Love is generous. Love is kind. Love is nurturing. Love is not demanding. Love doesn't give you a set of rules. My school, I'm getting clearer and clearer about, is the school of creation for us to create ourselves again as a people who are not annihilating each other and no more ripping each other's wings off. We are no longer crucifying each other. We are no longer thinking garbage thoughts and debasing other people who look like us and who don't. My school is about creative design in love, for love to exist, for love to recreate itself. Now, you may think this is preposterous, far-fetched. And yet look at what so many people believe. All sorts of things. People can believe whatever they want to believe. Use any words they want to believe. You see, I don't have all of this down. I'm still learning. And I'm learning what I teach to learn from it. Because this is how the school works. Because I am speaking surrenderedly. Not letting my logic limit me, nor my mind control me, nor the programs that have run on you that you have infected me with, and vice versa. All of the little programs, the algorithms, thoughts, words. Is not every word an algorithm? It's a piece of energy, quanta. It's a packet of data. We communicate, we encode, we decode, we transmit, and we receive. God takes our power from us. God robs us from who we are. God makes us spectators, followers. God gives demands. God may love, but only conditionally. There are conditions. If and only if you obey. You obey the commands, the demands. You walk in His precepts. Buddy, I'm not walking in your precepts. And I'm talking to God, full face on. I no more follow God. I've seen who behind the curtain is. I watched The Wizard of Oz. And behind that curtain, making all that fuss, all that racket, all those rumblings, making all those threats. In the movie, what a terrific metaphor, a terrific allegory. Brilliant. But see, even the characters in The Wizard of Oz begin to exhibit something that few of us understand: fearlessness. Because fear has kept us in the pew. Fear has kept us not as creators, but spectators. Fear has told us that, well, billions of people are in this religion. They all can't be wrong. And not only that, we have suffered because we have this propensity to think we're right, because we want to be right. We want to be right. We want to believe. And we actually, all of us have the capacity to, once we want to believe something, by George, we believe it. And we corroborate it. And our own emotions fuel our belief system because we're the creator. We're creating our emotions that corroborate to us the affirmation that we're right. We think we're right. We want to be right. We want to believe. We've even wanted to worship. We've so freely laid down our lives, prostrated ourselves. Millions of times. How many millions of times have we said, I just want to do your will? I no longer want to do your will, oh God, no matter what God is. If there are conditions on it, no. I've come out. I've come out of grade school, grammar school. I've come out of conditioning that God loves me and wants the best for me, and it's a he. Love is not a he, folks. Conditional love is not the love that I'm interested in. And I think, I feel, I believe it's given to me through the words that I speak like this, that millions are ready for more than a carrot and stick. You think heaven is awaiting you? Oh, because you've read some books where people have died and gone to heaven. Right. Maybe you've read some books where they've died and gone to hell too, or both. So do you believe their words? Are you relying on their words? What about your words? What about your authority? What about your ability? You think some master force put you on this earth to have a relationship with you? Oh, and it created disease, decay, and limited you to, 70 years? Whatever the time of man may be. Friends, there's so much more to the story. I have a school. My school is me, the school of me, the school of Meonics, the school of you, Euonics. It's the school for creators to create again, the new creation, because we are all creators. The stories that have been fabricated and given us to say, there's a holy God, and it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of an angry God. Let me tell you, I've learned that angry God is that old guy behind the curtain in The Wizard of Oz. I've learned who God is. God created the Matrix. I found out what Morpheus found out, and I'm looking for Neo. See, these are terrific movies because they communicate so much visually in giving a story, an allegory. Are you willing to learn from an allegory? Are you willing to learn from multiple movies? Are you willing to learn from me what it means to surrender? For you to learn to surrender control over your language so that logic no more dominates you. so that you can speak surrenderedly things you never knew? Use vocabulary in words and sentences that you didn't know the meaning of? Yeah. Learning from each other? Yeah. Learn from what you speak, not even knowing what you're speaking sometimes? Yeah. This is a school. And those of you who have listened very long to many of my teaching, my lessons, my broadcast, my video, whatever you want to call it, I hope you know I love you. True love is not conditional. So I'm differentiating what I used to call God. I've had to differentiate it from what I thought it was. And that's why over and over I talk about original love. Original love still loves. And original love is not powerless. Original love has no fear. Perfect love casts out all fear. All fear evaporates when perfect love is around. When people start using the if word with love words, let your antenna go up. It's time for us to understand and grow up. This is a school of creation. I'm still getting it. I'm creating me. Every time I sit down to record, I'm surrendering to be in school and create me, whether anyone else listens or not, whether anyone else ever hears these words or not. I'm creating me. I'm in the school of creation. Golly. I'm sure ready to graduate. And what will I graduate with and when? Me, who has this school, who started a school. For 21 years, I've talked about this school and been given words about this school because I learned to channel, because I learned to breathe on energy. I began to experience some kind of energy. I used to say God spoke to me. But see, I continue to refine the terms and get clarification and clarify my own thinking with it and learn that I'm a creator and I'm creating me. This is a school of creation. When you're ready to go beyond the Bible, when you're ready to accept some responsibility for you, what about all? What if you are the creator? If you can recreate you, don't you want to? I do. I don't want to create me powerless again. Powerless? If I have the ability to stop war, if I have the power, do I just want to do things to exercise self-aggrandizement? Do I want eyes on me? Do I just want to start a miracle ministry? No. I know what love is. The love of God is not the God of love. There's more to the story. The motive of our heart speaks. The motive of our heart communicates. The motive of love is very different than compliance with worship, compliance with commands. So this is a school of creation. The first degree is in Meonics. How do I graduate? When I graduate, I expect, my grandmother used to truncate. I expect. You've heard that? I expect you'll know it. We are creating the new birth. The new birth that is not created by some other entity that says, oh, you're a new creation just as soon. Just say this little prayer. Repeat after me. Fill out this membership card. Go home. Be good. Send in your tithe check. Come next week. Serving God? Or are you serving their mind? Are you serving their flesh? Are you serving their organization? Whether it's profit or non-profit makes no difference whatsoever. Oh, it's a ministry. Oh, you think it makes any difference? Why are you serving? Why do you want to serve God? Why do you want to serve anything when you're a leader, when you're a creator? When you have a kingdom inside of you. That kingdom inside of you is not separate from you. That kingdom is in you, but it remains inaccessible to you until you're willing to open it, until you're willing to see who you are, until you're no longer afraid of what you may find. The kingdom of God is in you. The kingdom of heaven. This was the message of Jesus. The message of Jesus wasn't go to church, pay your tithe, give double honor to the people who lead. Differentiate. Have different levels of hierarchy. You decide who's worthy to stand up and share communion. Somebody else has authority and you don't? No, my friend. There is no one who has authority over you. in the means, ways, and manner that I'm talking about. And the people who run around with collars, robes on, wanting you to kiss their ring, bow down before them, honor their God, run. They don't know. They're ignorant. They've not loved. They've not met love that I've met. You see, 21 years ago when I began to surrender out of desperation, and I've told this parts of the story many times, and I began to write the first person words of God, I called it then, and did for years. A lot of people would call it channeling. I channeled information from another world. I channeled information that gave me another identity, told me I wasn't a worm. Told me I had a kingdom. Told me I was from a kingdom. And that I've never been separate. And this is my message to you. The creatorship of all creation again begins with you first. This is the message of Meonics. How long does it take to graduate in Meonics? I don't know. I've been in it 21 years so far and more. The good news is, love told me, you'll get in 6 months. You can get in 6 months what took me 6 years. But I know a lot of you are ready. It won't take you 6 months. But to graduate, how do I graduate? I graduate with a degree in Meonics. Meonics is a system of education. A system of education where, however you want to say it, where what I used to call God will teach you directly. If you want to skip this step and this process, don't come here. Because you are the creator. And you must learn your power. But if you have all power and you don't have love, you're a tyrant. If you have all power and you don't have love, you probably just want people to serve you. You want to establish what your will is for their lives. You want to control them. Whatever you give to them will be conditional because you're selfish. You don't know what love is. So you want to control people. Create people, create robots. Put your mind in those robots, by George. Organically grow them in fields. You can tell me you wouldn't do that, but I'm not so sure. Unless you meet love. The offspring of what we called God are still God's. The God seed, the seed of God, the offspring of God are still God. In the cosmos, yeah. But if they don't have love, You don't have to imagine very long to imagine the common behavior of somebody who is powerful, that doesn't operate with pure love. But man, let me tell you, woman, pure love is far more powerful than love that poses as love. Fake love. Fake love may have a lot of power. Fake love can be very boisterous, extremely vociferous, demanding, commanding. Create things. Fire. Bring fire down from heaven. Sometimes heal people. Do miracles. And if that's your only criteria for recognizing a God is because they do miracles, you will be severely disappointed. Learn to grow up. Just because somebody can do a miracle, it doesn't mean they have love. It means they can exercise power at that moment. Maybe not even consistently. Maybe not very often. Don't let people appropriate your power. Don't surrender your crown to another god. The kingdom of heaven is within you. It is not where you go when you die. And all these fairy tale stories and all of these stories of carrot and stick, heaven and hell, Santa Claus, will no more exist soon. Because I am coming, not I am here. What am I? A consciousness of one. I am conscious now of my creation. I'm conscious that I'm the creator of me. And I'm conscious of love. And I'm conscious of your capacity to create you again. I'm conscious. I'm no longer mesmerized by the molecule, by the life and death of words, atomic particles, flashing in and out of existence to create an atmosphere. See, there's so much more to the story if you're willing to explore it, if you're willing to come inside of you. Come inside of you. If you think there's a lion in the streets, if you think there's a hell, you think there's a heaven, you think all these things you've been told are true? I encourage you to do your own due diligence, not just take my word for it. I've said that over and over and over again. I don't have all the answers, and I'm in a learning process and have been all of my life. And I still am. One day I will graduate with the first degree in my school, from my school. I will graduate. I will be a graduate of my school. And I'll have a degree. Not a piece of paper. I'll have I will be something. I will be something that I was all the time that I didn't know because I'm recreating me. When I graduate, I will be a new creation. A new creation that is not limited to this one. You see, what I seem to be is limited by time, space, gravity, income, influence. There seems to be many limitations, but none of those hold up when I graduate. I graduate from the school by becoming a new creation. I couldn't have dreamed this up by myself. We are not limited to this earth, folks. We are not limited to the molecular. We are creators who have the power of creation, who have used our own minds over eons in creating our separation, thinking we're separate. I have a son and a daughter. He's my son, she's my daughter. No matter what they do, it's there. That connection is there. That love is there. It's inextricable. It's undissolvable. No one can separate them from my love, no matter what they do. Even if they spit in my face, tell me I'm a fool for teaching like I do. My love is still there because I know who they are. They're my son and my daughter. And nothing will change that. Not even somebody who poses as God. Not even who writes a book on God. The power of love does not exist on a set of laws. Know the difference. Am I getting this across? I don't know unless you tell me. I don't cut on comments when I live stream like this because I am communicating surrenderedly in a stream of energy, through a stream of thought. I'm aware. I'm aware of the light, the trees outside, the technology. The light on my microphone is on and it's green. I'm aware of these things. But I don't choose at this moment to have all these questions popping up, especially by so many people who just drop in for the moment and want to make fun. So many are so crass and so cruel. They have no understanding. They can look at their face in a mirror and not even know who they are. But I know. I know what love is. If you're beginning to understand this, I invite your comments. I invite you to write me. You can write me at theodoreureka@gmail.com. You can write me snail mail at Box 34 in Eureka Springs. This is a moment in time like no other. The magnitude? A lot of people thought Noah was a nut. Building an ark on dry land? What the heck is that about? Can you imagine how Noah was ridiculed? Ostracized? Condemned? Probably didn't have many followers, many helpers. I don't know. But I know that all creation is getting created again. I know that you may or may not like what I teach, how I teach. But I suggest you probably know that if you just abide by all the things that you have thought were true, and even maybe dedicated your life to knowing, doing, preaching, all this time, that it is inevitable that unless you do something very different, you're going to die. Well, of course, you can point to the Bible verse that says it is pointed unto every man. Man wants to die, and then the judgment, oh my gosh, a test, an exam. Will I pass? Will I go to heaven or hell? No, my friend. Jesus said, if you believe in me, you'll never die. Do you believe the words in red or not? You believe the words of Paul or some of the writers more than the words in red? If they were in red? If they are in red? What do you care to believe? And what are you choosing to do, see, say, sign, and become? Are you willing to be in a school like no other? A school of Meonics? What a funny name. Meons. What if meons are a particle? You think electron is a particle? Electron, neutron, proton. It's a something, right? And it has a name. And it has a function and it does something. And you think you even can predict it and mix them up and compound different mixtures for different reasons, right? You have a periodic table of elements. You know the physics of the universe, right? Classical physics, but then quantum came along and you know more. You see, we know things until we know more. And then we know more and we respond, we react. Or do we become Luddites? Or do we want to smash the machines? We want to kill all the robots, take them apart, de-establish AI, never use computers. Let's produce abacus. Right. I may be serious, but I'm not as serious as I used to be. I'm not so caught up in presentation and eloquence because I'm not there. I'm 73. I'm an imperfect old guy. But I have a lot of love. I met love. Love has taught me. Love has now differentiated itself from what I thought was God. I know that may be a hard lesson, a hard pill to swallow. Maybe you don't want to swallow it. You just want to worship God because it's comfortable. I was a worshiper. I enjoyed worshiping, worship music. Oh, I would dance around. But all of that is not the point. The point is you're a creator. And you've never been separate from love. The creation of love creates love, flows love. And you're a creator. And I'm inviting you to recreate you. If you don't recreate you, at some point, through normal attrition, inventory turnover, population of the earth changes for all sorts of reasons. My friend, you're not subject to any of it. What if Meonics, what if meons are an actual particle that are dormant until you exercise your privilege to operate in your capacity to create them on to form you in a new form? Can you imagine being intangible? Are you willing to be amorphous, invisible? Have you seen the movie Ghost with Demi Moore and Whoopi Goldberg? I love it. It's a fantastic movie, Ghost with Demi Moore. We can learn so much from movies if we want to learn. We can create if we want to learn to create. But see, love does not lay down. Roll over and play dead for another power to use it. There is leadership in love. There are values. And when you value love, you'll start feeling it. Love will fill a void that nothing else will. The love that fills the void that we have all sought outside of us for God to come into us and satisfy us. No, that never really satisfies like the inner love of the one that you really are. When you release heaven inside of you to communicate with you, heavenly beings, heavenly love, heavenly power, heavenly healing, you no more carry a grudge. It just doesn't stick. Grudges that were so important and so many things that you never wanted to forgive because they were so cruel to you. They just don't stick to you anymore. Because love is forming a new body, not limited to flesh. When you're in this school, you begin to write papers, because writing a paper with pen and paper is a creative process. You are the creator. Learn to create. Learn to love. Learn to let go of the grudges. Learn to embrace forgiveness, mercy. They didn't know better. Maybe they did. Maybe they were just cruel, brutal. Can you forgive them? As I started learning love, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times as thoughts would come to me about this, that, and the other, times of hurt, people who had wounded me, things I did wrong, things I was really sorry for, whatever, all these things. You see, the mind is the accuser. I would respond. And not that you may respond with the same words, but I got to where every time I would think of any of those things, I would say, I forgive me and I forgive you. I forgive me. And there were times I'd walk down the street, I forgive you and I forgive you. I forgive me and I forgive you. And forgiveness blooms. Forgiveness planted in my garden began to grow. You can recreate you. This is my message. You can recreate you and change everything about your life. But it takes guts, courage, determination, because it's an adventure. And in an adventure, when you begin to explore the unknown. When you begin to explore the kingdom of God within you, you will find beauty you never knew. You can begin to walk out every day and no longer be afraid of the wrath of God or the brutality of man or a lion in the street. You can begin to walk in pure love, where you don't even need to answer. You don't even need to reply. You have the power to make axe heads float. You can just speak the word and open the eyes of your servants to see all the warriors and all the intangible people on horses, the warriors that are with you. What are all those Bible stories about? It's certainly not telling you to operate like the God that said, go conquer that country and kill all the men, women, children, and cattle. You can create you in perfect freedom among the cosmos, to never be limited again by molecules, by words, or by someone else's energy. And this is why I exist. This is why I start a school. To live a love that never divides from the purity of original love. And all these people in commerce, people in government, so many people around the world, all they want is your body, your mind, your money, for you to be slaves. But we're coming out of Egypt in the allegory. People of every nation, tribe, and tongue. Will you love them? If you won't, don't come here. But if you're willing to learn a new language, a language not dependent on syllables, the language of love. You see, it's all a new day, folks. I won't have every answer to your question, but I know who does. Love speaks. Love has a body. Love has a form on this earth. If it will be you. You. No mealy mouth around. Know your power. This is about creating you again. Because when you pick up your pen and you begin to write these words, you begin to write another language with new values. Values that love every single person. And you begin to have a wisdom. You begin to have insight into people, things, and situations. Because you are not disconnected from love. Reestablish your connection with love. Let love flow to the people who have bashed you, ostracized you, even the people who hate your guts. You don't have to love their flesh. You don't have to obey them. Please don't. But understand underneath that flesh, is a common language, a universal peace, the power of all creation. That person can change. Saul to Paul. This is not about Christian or Christianity or Christ coming back as a soon coming king or even being a man. I'm talking about love, original love. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I realize I've spoken over an hour. One day I will graduate, and you will too. I look for that day. I will come out of this flesh When I graduate, I will come out of this flesh, and I will be no longer tormented by the mind of man, people, influences, forces of nature, force of anything. Because love is not subject to the laws of this world. And see, when I come out, when I graduate, you may see me or not, but you will see the effects of my love. Because I will stop the sex trade. I will stop women being abused by men. I will stop narcissism. I will stop religion's gaslighting everybody. I will stop mercilessness. And I will show people the mercy seat of love. And not the love of power, but the power of love. And if I don't, you will. Please, will you? Let not your heart be troubled. Believe in love, not law. Believe not in the image of God, the God figure, the God that's been described, the God that wants you to lay down and do his will. Be who you really are. This is about the real me that is you. This is what Meonics is about. You coming in to the capacity for you to recreate you, for you to be a born-again new creation. It's not the blood of bulls and goats that matter. Love was never interested, ever, in the blood of bulls and goats, sacrificial lambs. Love never wanted you to die, my friend. Love did not institute death. When you meet love and let love teach you, you become what it is. What it is and what you are become not separate. You become God. You become love on earth in tangible form. This is the purpose of Meonics, where you open up your kingdom and you're no longer afraid of your power. No heaven and hell, but all love restores love to love. And everyone will choose again in the new beginning that is now. This is day one of creation. I pray you love me in your mirror. Love you. Forgive you of everything done and not. Seek no one else's forgiveness. Let them do as they want. Let them be them. But you walk in your power. In the assurance, the guarantee, oh, there's risk. But if you're willing to open heaven, you can open heaven now, and heaven will begin to teach you. And that's what my school is about. You opening heaven within you now to access it, to intercede for no other to do things for you, but for you to walk in the majesty of who you really are. The majesty of your beauty, the beauty of your power, the majesty and beauty and power of your love. Love, my friend. Love unconditionally. Understand love and love love. And don't be fooled into submitting your life to whoever or whatever requires you to serve it. I love you. I go. You can write me at Box 34 in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. You can email me, Theodore Eureka @gmail.com. I appreciate hearing from you. Thank you for those of you who care. Thank you for growing out of fear and all of the fear-based marriage to religion. I pray you let it all evaporate and have no power over you. There is no fear in perfect love. There is healing for your mind. And one day you'll take off these grave clothes and you won't ever need them again, but you won't throw them away. You'll appear here sometimes in flesh to walk among people and heal them. But you won't be restricted to your flesh. And you won't be worried about guns, tanks, and bombs, or who's politically correct, or who did you wrong. None of those things will have power over you. Walk in your love. Admire no one else above you. Only the humble walk in the pure power of love. Thank you again. Lead the School of Leadership. Be open to leadership and be not afraid of learning to open the perfect you, to let the perfect teach you to be the perfect I am. Original love, a race of light people coming now will change everything. I love you. Thank you again. Love each other. Love your parents. Love your kids. Especially your parents and kids. Love them. Let forgiveness flow. Plant forgiveness and mercy in your garden. And see the blooms of joy. See you, friend. I love you. Love each other. Tell them. Tell each other, men, women, whether they're married or not. No matter what religion they are, tell them you love them. And mean it. See ya. Thank you. Good day.